Hello and welcome to your weekly dispatch, where we'll give you a rundown of the most important stories of local, regional, and international significance. Here's what stood out for us this week. Chinese Vice Premier He Lifeng with the Belt and Road Initiative taking top spot on the agenda. Communal violence in India's Haryana adds to the growing threat of Hindu extremism to religious minorities. Russian officials resorting to nuclear threats raising alarm bells on the state of nuclear diplomacy and security. And for our feature story, we're looking at the recent terror attack in Bajaur district, claiming over 50 lives and raising concerns about the return of religious militancy in the country. Pakistan and China mark the first decade of China-Pakistan economic corridor. To mark this milestone, the Chinese Vice Premier He Lifeng, a close aide of President Xi Jinping, came to Pakistan on a 3-day visit to attend a special event celebrating the 10 years of CPEC. He met with the Pakistani Prime Minister Shehbaz Sharif and also called on President Arif Alvi and the Army Chief General Asif Munir. The tangible outcome of this interaction in Islamabad was the renewed push by both sides to stick to the CPEC, the flagship project of the Belt and Road Initiative by China. Both sides agreed to expedite the next phase of the China-Pakistan economic corridor, and for this purpose, the two sides signed 6 memoranda of understanding on trade, infrastructure, and knowledge sharing. CPEC forms the bedrock of Pakistan's geo-economic vision to become a hub and a melting pot for regional trade and economic cooperation. The visit signals the intention of both sides to strengthen their strategic cooperation on issues of shared interest. On to neighboring India, where a tragic incident has unfolded in Haryana, leading to the loss of lives and injuries in violent communal clashes between Hindus and Muslims. At least 6 people have been killed and dozens are injured, with several policemen among the wounded. The focal point of the violence was in Nuh, a Muslim-majority area located 50 kilometers south of New Delhi. Reports suggest that the violence stemmed from a confrontation during a Bajrang Dal procession in Nuh. Bajrang Dal, a right-wing organization associated with the BJP, has been linked with communal polarization in India. The incident has once again brought to light the communal tensions that have been witnessing an uptick in India since the rise of the BJP to power in 2014. The situation reflects a broader pattern of tension in the country, as campaigns like Love Jihad and Cow Vigilante groups have contributed to creating a sense of insecurity, particularly for minority communities and especially for Muslims. This unrest is not an isolated incident. Similar communal tensions have also been observed in other regions of India, such as between the Kuki Christians and Methi Hindus in the state of Manipur, as reported in one of our previous dispatches. Moving on to concerns of international security, nuclear talk once again features in the Russia-Ukraine war as chairman of Russia's Security Council Dmitry Medvedev warns Russia could potentially use nuclear weapons should Ukraine's counteroffensive succeed. This threat comes at a time when Ukraine is engaged in a fierce battle to take back the territories under Russian control, and drone attacks by Ukraine penetrate in Moscow to hit skyscrapers housing key ministries. This is not the first time that a nuclear threat has been invoked in this war. Last year, Moscow warned that the world was on the verge of a new world war. Earlier this year in April, the same Russian official threatened to use nuclear weapons to defend new regions under Russian control. While the West has accused Russia of loose talk on nuclear weapons, besides undermining strategic stability and breaking the taboo of nuclear weapons use, and claims it reflects Russia's steady military weakness vis-à-vis Ukraine. While Moscow blames NATO members for pushing the war in that direction by giving military weapons, including missiles and drones, and cluster bombs, and refusing to shun their stance on expansion. And now for our feature story. In a tragic incident, at least 54 people were killed and over 100 received injuries in a suicide attack at the Jamiyat-e-Ulema Islam Fazl Workers Convention in Khyber Pakhtunkhwa's Bajaur district. The attack was claimed by the Islamic State's regional affiliate Islamic State Khorasan province. Inspired by the Islamic State in Iraq and Syria, Islamic State Khorasan or Vilayat Khorasan was formed in 2015. In subsequent years, it emerged as one of the biggest security threats in the region, despite facing aerial attacks from the US, targeted kinetic action by Pakistani security forces, and turf war against the Afghan Taliban. The ISKP has indulged in sectarian violence, targeted state institutions including security forces, and carried out attacks against religious groups which it deems as apostates and allegedly diverging from the right path of Islam. Although the great concentration of activities has centered around Afghanistan, it is increasingly ratcheting up its targets in Pakistan. The attack adds to the tally of a growing number of terrorist activities taking place across different parts of the country and further complicates the militant landscape in Pakistan. This attack comes as a recurrence of violence by religious and separatist groups such as TTP and BLA, and have created fears of instability threatening to undermine the gains achieved over the last 2 decades in the fight against religious extremism and militancy. It also reflects the growing menace of religious militant organizations which pose a threat to regional peace and stability and could potentially further undermine security and humanitarian crises in Afghanistan. A reminder that while the foreign forces may have left the region, the threat of terrorism still persists. I am Hajira Asaf Khan, and this was your Weekly Dispatch.